Welcome back to another video. I'm going to try and do videos quite early on, quite early mornings. It's just I just get things done. Um, Basically, so have thanks for all the likes on the previous video. I have been just looking and been just evaluating my situation. Obviously, I'm not just I am. If a lot of people who know me and a lot of recruiters who follow me, they will obviously tell you I'm not just I am. I do cloud security, architecture, so end-to-end delivery within cloud so I advise a lot of clients when moving over to the cloud. So for example, in one of my previous roles, we had a situation where we onboarded a client. I was working for a large Indian consultancy. The client basically wanted to, well, on the pre-sales, they basically sold it as they were gonna move straight over to the cloud. That's how it was sold. Upon seeing all the pre-sales documents and all the SOW, the design docs, everything, it had to be changed. Everything had to be changed upon seeing the clients. So when I go into a client, I first I get a health check. A health check is one of the main criterias that you do to see what sort of infrastructure have they got. What have they got? Have they got physical servers, like on-prem is what we call on-prem servers within cybersecurity or within any sort of function within tech? Have they got cloud? What have they got? So my first impressions, they wanted to move everything Microsoft driven. So Azure hit me straight. Wasn't going to even push AWS because the client basically says, we don't want AWS. We've had bad experience. I was like, alright, cool. So in that instance, I basically pushed everything Azure, Entra ID, anything you can think. Like, I always advise the clients to go on a hybrid function instead of going private or pure just cloud. Using the hybrid function gives the feasibility for the client to have both on-prem and cloud. Certain things on cloud and certain things most of their things on-prem. And then slowly we shift things over. It gives more income for the consultancy, one. Two, you're in the project for longer because you're not they won't get rid of you, and they will always want you to be heading up that whole project, which I did. And I did it for 3.5 years. That one project, I was on it like for 3.5 years. It was part of it was, well, there were two clients that I was on for 3.5 years. I was part-time on both, but then I was dipping in and out because obviously I had a team of over 20 staff, where when you work for indie consultancies, you're always having, or any sort of consultancy, you're always working 3 or 4 projects at the same time. It's about managing your time. So this prime example is what I'm saying is that don't just focus. If people who want to get into identity access management, it is a wrong choice. Identity access management is the core front of cybersecurity. You want to start touching on, so you want to get into cybersecurity, but you also want not just identity access management. Identity access management, once you've done the implementation, once you've done the designs, once you've completed and onboarded the system to a client, your job's done. The only thing you're going to be doing is support. It's pointless. Whilst if you're doing like stuff on Azure or AWS or any sort of cloud infrastructure, everything's moving to cloud. And guys, please, please, please try and get yourself certified in AI. Things are moving. They're not gonna, AI is not gonna, don't get scared. AI is not gonna take over every single technology in the world. It's just not gonna happen. Maybe 30 years down the line, possibly, but you're still gonna have the element of human. Like coders, for example, and software engineers. AI can write the code, but it's not going to go into detail on what the code is going to do. It's not going to check the code. It's not going to run tests. It's not going to do any of the devs, the testing, the development, the QA, even like business analysts. It's not going to do all of that. So guys, don't get scared. Like in life, always take a risk. A risk, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. I always believe in that. Me being in this situation is just proving to me that I can still survive. When things get taken away from me, I can still survive. And I'm still powering through as a soldier. So I call myself a warrior, to be honest, but yeah, I just power through. Obviously I have my family support, but other than that, my work, I'm keeping myself active by doing stuff like this, like talking on TikTok, and most of my videos are getting transferred to YouTube. But don't just, so all I'm trying to say is don't just stick to one technology. You need to diversify your technologies. It's the only way to survive in this world. It's a brutal world, and especially in the UK, I can't talk about international clients or what it's like in America or UAE or Singapore or anywhere across APAC and Europe. I can talk about a lot of stuff about UK. UK is a dead market at the moment. Don't know what's going on, but it's client driven. I've got another video coming out tomorrow. Anyone who wants to know more about what's going on in the UK when it comes to markets and interviews and how long the interviews are and what's really going on, I'm doing another. I'll try and get a video out tomorrow at some point. But I'm gonna repeat myself again. Don't just stick to identity access management. Identity access management does get boring. And I'm talking from experience. I've done it for over 13 years. When you're as a contractor, once the project's done, that is done. Once you've done your implementation, onboarding, segregation of duties, your application onboarding, JML processes, you've done the whole greenfield all the way to the brownfield project. It's just support. After that, you're just supporting the client on anything that goes wrong. If you're an architect and you just end up doing the support, you're just basically a support analyst after that. You're not an architect. Far from it. You'll just go in, you'll be sitting there twiddling your thumbs half the time, because you're not going to face problems every single day. You're still getting paid, and you're still getting paid big bucks. As an architect, 600 plus a day. It's a lot of money, and a client will know what you're doing. All your activities logged. So, anyways, guys, if video is informative for you and you enjoy it, please like, share, follow. God bless. Take care. Good night.